皆さん、日本語コースへようこそ. Hello and welcome to another class with this Japanese for Beginners course. It's your teacher Rosie again, and let's start learning new things. So, today we will learn about verbs, or in Japanese, doshi, doshi, doshi. Very good. So, today we will learn Japanese verb conjugation. So the first thing you need to know about the Japanese verbs is that there are three types of verbs. The first type is ru verbs. Ru verbs. Second type is u verbs. U verbs. And the third type is irregular verbs. Irregular verbs. Very good. So how can we know if a verb is a ru verb or an u verb? So first, let's take a look at ru verbs. So ru verbs, as we can see from the group name, they end in ru. Ru. So let's look at some examples. The first one is taberu. Taberu. Taberu, to eat. So it ends in ru. 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 The second one is miru. Miru, to see, to look, to watch. It also ends in ru. Ru, ru. And the third one is neru, 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 to sleep, to go to bed. Also ends in ru. So it's very easy, okay? But for u verbs, they usually end in u, but sometimes they end in ru. And that's where things get tricky, okay? Because if the verb ends in u, like kau or kaku, or nomu, it's quite easy to know that it's an u verb. But if it ends in ru, like noru, kaeru, tsukuru, we need to know already if it's a ru verb or an u verb to conjugate it correctly. So the only way is to memorize, alright? But first, let's take a look at u verbs that end in u. So the first one is to drink. Nomu, nomu, nomu. So it ends in mu, mu, but after m we have u, mu, mu, the syllable, yes? Very good. Second one is to buy, kau, kau, kau. It ends in u, u. And the third one is kaku, 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 to write. It ends in ku, ku. Okay? Very good. Now let's take a look at u verbs that end in ru. So we have noru, noru, to get on a vehicle. Kaeru, kaeru, to return, to come home. And tsukuru, tsukuru, to make, to prepare food. Very good. So, I already mentioned that ru verbs end in ru, but also, very often, before the last ru, they have an I or E vowel sound before the ru. Most of the time, not always. There will be exceptions, but let's take a look at these two. So we have miru, miru, to look, to watch. And before the last ru, we have I. We have I, I. Okay, so we have a vowel. So then we can know, okay, this is a ru verb. It has a vowel I, I. For deru, deru, to exit or to go out, we have I, a before ru, eru. So we can also know it's a ru verb. So now let's take a look at u verbs. So while ru verbs had an I or E vowel sound before the ru, u verbs usually have a, u, o, so a, u, o vowel sound before the ending syllable. Okay, let's take a look. We have verb utau, utau, to sing. So we have a, we have a before the last sound. And for yomu, yomu, to read, before the last mu, we have o, we have o. So that's how we can also distinguish if it's a ru or u verb. Now let's learn some ru verbs. To eat, taberu, taberu, taberu. To watch, to look, miru, miru, miru. To get up, okiru, okiru, okiru. To sleep, neru, ner, ner. For U verbs, we have nom, 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 to drink. To read, yom, yom, yom. To talk, to speak, hanasu, hanasu, hanasu. To listen, to ask, kiku, kiku, kiku. To go, iku, iku, iku. To return, kaeru, kaeru, kaeru. Irregular verbs, to do, suru, suru, suru. To come, kuru, kuru, kuru. Now let's learn the formal present tense conjugation for ru verbs, okay? So let's take this verb, kiru, 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 to wear, okay? So this is dictionary form, kiru. From this dictionary form, kiru, we need to take away ru, ru. So we will have left only ki, ki. So the left ki will be our word stem, okay? Now, to make present tense affirmative form to this word stem ki, we need to add mas, mas. I know that we write masu, but we say mas, mas. So when we add mas to ki, we have kimas, kimas. Very good. And for the negative form, to ki, we add masen, masen, and then we have kimasen, kimasen. Now, another ru verb, iru, iru, iru. To be, to exist, for living things. So from iru, we take away ru and we have I left. I, I. So I is our stem. So to make affirmative, we add mas. So we have I plus mas, imas, imas. Now to make negative, we add masen, masen. So we have imasen, imasen. Very good. Now another word, to eat. Taberu, taberu, taberu. So from taberu, we take away ru. We had tabe, tabe left. Tabe is our stem. To tabe we add mas, and we have tabemas, tabemas. Now to make negative, we add masen again. So we have tabemasen, tabemasen. Miru, miru, to watch, to look. So from miru, we take away ru, and we have mi. Mi is our stem. To make affirmative, we add mas. Mi plus mas, so we have mimas, mimas. If we want negative, we add masen, masen, so we have mimasen, mimasen. Very good. Now let's take a look at U verbs. So for U verbs, it's a little bit different. Let's take a look. So we have kau, kau, to buy. So from kau, we need to take away u, u. And then we have ka left. But to ka, we need to add the letter that comes before u in the hiragana line. Do you remember? Our first hiragana line was a, I, u, e, o. So before u, we have I, I. So I will come here. And our stem will be kai, kai. Now to make affirmative, we add mas, so we have kaimas, kaimas. And to make negative, we add masen, so we have kaimasen, kaimasen. Very good. Now, this is our hiragana chart. So to explain what I was explaining before, but in a bit more clear way, let's take a look here. So we have our hiragana line of u, 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 u. So we have u, ku, su, tsu, nu, fu, etc. All of them are in U line. Now, when we are conjugating U verbs, we go one line back. So if we are here, U will become I. If we are here, ku will become ki, su will become shi, tsu will become chi, and etc. Okay? So always keep in mind this hiragana chart where we will go one step back. Perfect. Our next word is iku. Iku, to go. So we have iku, ku. Yeah? So before ku we have, let's think, ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. So we have ki. So instead of iku, it becomes iki, iki. So to make affirmative, we add mas. So we have ikimasu, ikimasu. And to make negative, we add masen. And it's ikimasen, ikimasen. You see, we had ku here, we went back. Perfect. Our next verb is to drink. Nomu, nomu, nomu. Let's think about the hiragana line. Ma, mi, mu, me, mo. So before mu, we have mi. So from nomu, it becomes nomi, nomi. So to nomi, we add mas, and it's nomimas, nomimas, present affirmative. Present negative, we add masen. It will be nomimasen, nomimasen. Great. Okay, so we had mu, it became mi. Now, irregular verbs to do. Suru, suru. So usually irregular verb suru comes with a noun. So if we have noun, let's say sports, sports, sports. To do sports would be supportsu suru, supportsu suru. Okay? Let's take a look. So, present affirmative form of suru, irregular verb suru, would be shimasu, shimasu. And negative form would be shimasen, shimasen. Now we have another irregular verb to come, kuru, kuru. Present affirmative would be kimasu, kimasu. And present negative would be kimasen, kimasen. Now let's practice. Let's try to conjugate these verbs. I will give you 5 seconds for each verb to make it into mas and masen form, okay? If you feel like it's not enough time for you, feel free to pause this lesson here, okay? Okay, let's get started. So let's conjugate taberu. Okay, so it's ru verb. So we need to take away ru, and we have our stem tabe. To tabe, we need to add mas to make it present affirmative, and it will be tabemas, tabemas. To make it present negative, we add masen. So we have tabemasen, tabemasen. Very good. Example sentence. Watashi wa tabemasu, watashi wa tabemasu. I will eat. Okay? So, I translate this sentence as if I will eat. So it sounds like a future tense in English, right? Well, I will talk about this later on, but I want to mention it to you even right now, that the present tense in Japanese can both mean present and the future, depending on the context. So, if I don't have any clue that this action is happening right now, this might sound like a future action, that I will eat. Very good. Our next verb is to look, to watch. Miru, miru. Let's try to conjugate it as well. Okay, so it's also a ru verb. So we take away ru, we have stem mi. And to mi, we need to add mas to make it present affirmative. So it's mimas, mimas. And to make it present negative, we add masen. So it will be mimasen. Perfect. Example sentence. Terebi o mimasu. Terebi o mimasu. I will watch TV. Okiru. 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 To wake up, to get up. Now let's think, is it a ru verb or u verb? Which one is it? I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, so it's also ru verb. So we take away ru and we have oki, oki left as a stem. To oki, again, we add mas. So we have present affirmative, okimasu, okimasu, and negative, okimasen. Example sentence, nanji ni okimasu ka? Nanji ni okimasu ka? Nanji means what hour. Nanji ni, at what hour do you get up? Do you wake up? So this could actually mean, at what time will you get up? Neru, neru, to sleep. Let's think, is it a ru verb or u verb, and how will we conjugate it into mas and masen forms? Give you 5 seconds again. Again, this was a ru verb, so after taking away ru, we have ne left. Ne plus mas is nemas, nemas, present affirmative, present negative, ne plus masen, nemasen. Itsu nemasu ka? Itsu nemasu ka? When will you sleep? When will you go to bed? Nomu, nomu, to drink. Is it a ru verb or u verb? How will we conjugate it? So this was actually u verb. So what do we do with u verbs? In the hiragana line of letter M, we need to go one step back. So let's think. Here we have mu. So we have ma, mi, mu, me, mo. So mu. Before mu, we have mi, mi. So our stem is nomi, nomi. So nomi plus mas is present affirmative, nomi mas. And nomi plus masen is nomi masen, present negative. Example sentence. Biru o nomimasu. Biru o nomimasu. I will drink beer. Yomu, yomu, to read. So it was also u verb. So this is mu, mu. So we have the M line. Let's think about the hiragana M line. Ma, mi, mu, me, mo. So before mu, we have mi. So mu changes into mi. So our word stem is yomi, yomi. So for present affirmative, we add mas. So we have yomi mas, yomi mas. And for negative, we add masen. So we have yomi masen, yomi masen. Very good. Example sentence. Hon o yomimasu. Hon o yomimasu. I will read a book. Hon, hon means a book. Hanasu, hanasu, to speak, to talk. Now let's think, is it u verb, ru verb? I'll give you 5 seconds. Yes, so it was u verb, hanasu, so su. So this is S line. Let me think about hiragana S line. We have sa, shi, su, se, so. So before su, we have shi, shi. So hanasu will change into hanashi, hanashi. Hanashi will be word stem. So hanashi plus mas is present affirmative. Hanashimasu, hanashimasu. And when we add masen, hanashimasen, hanashimasen. Very good. Example sentence. Nihongo de hanashimasu. Nihongo de hanashimasu. I will speak in Japanese. Nihongo is Japanese. Nihongo, nihongo. Our next verb is kiku, kiku, to listen. Okay, I'll give you 5 seconds again. U verb. So kiku, kiku, this is K line. So ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. So ku will change into ki, ki. kiki. So kiki is our word stem. So kiki plus mas, we have kikimasu. Kikimasu, present affirmative. Kiki plus masen, we will have kikimasen. Kikimasen, present negative. Example sentence. Ongaku o kikimasu. Ongaku o kikimasu. I will listen to music. Ongaku is music. Ongaku. Ongaku. Our next verb is iku. Iku, to go. Now let's think about this one again. This is also a verb. So iku, K-line, kakiku keko. We have ki before ku, so our stem will change into ki, so iki, iki. So we have ikimasu and ikimasen. Very good. Example sentence. Shigoto ni ikimasu. Shigoto ni ikimasu. I will go to work. Shigoto. Shigoto means work or job. Kaeru. Kaeru, to return. Let's think about this one. Also, verb. So, kaeru, ru will change into ri because it's not ru verb, it's verb. So, our stem will be kaeri, kaeri. So, kaeri plus mas will be kaerimasu. Kaerimasu, present affirmative. Present negative will be kaerimasen. Kaerimasen. Example sentence. Itsu kaerimasu ka? Itsu kaerimasu ka? When will you return? When will you come back? Itsu. Itsu means when. Suru. Suru, to do. Now let's think, what type of verb is this? Yes, this is our irregular verb to do. So, shimasu, affirmative, negative, shimasen. We can only memorize this one. There are no rules for it. Example sentence. Mainichi undou shimasu. Mainichi undou shimasu. Mainichi means every day. Undo, exercise. So, I exercise every day. Undou suru means to exercise. Kuru. Kuru, to come. What type of verb is this? Again, this is our irregular verb to come. Affirmative form would be kimasu, kimasu. Negative form would be kimasen, kimasen. Example sentence. Party ni kimasu. Party ni kimasu. I will come to the party. Party. Party is party. Now, let's talk about verb types in the present tense. So I told you that sometimes it can sound as if the present tense sounds as future tense in English. Now, let's think why. So, we can separate present tense into two parts. The first part would be habitual actions, your habits, what you do quite often. And the second one is future actions. So let's take a look. Our first sentence. Watashi wa yoku sushi o tabemasu. Watashi wa yoku sushi o tabemasu. Watashi wa, I, me, yoku, often, sushi, sushi, tabemasu, eat. So I often eat sushi is our habit, right? We eat it quite often. So it's our present action, you know, our habit. Another example can be, John-san wa tokidoki bangohan o tabemasen. John-san wa tokidoki bangohan o tabemasen. John, tokidoki, sometimes, bangohan, dinner, tabemasen, doesn't eat. So sometimes John doesn't eat dinner, okay? Now, if we're talking about future actions, how can a present tense sound like a future action? Let's read the example. Watashi wa ashita 大阪に行きます。私は明日大阪に行きます。私は I, me. 明日 tomorrow. 大阪 city in Japan, Osaka. 行きます will go. So to go. So I will go to Osaka tomorrow. We translate it as future tense because it has the verb tomorrow. Okay? Our next sentence is 彼氏は今日家に帰りません。彼氏は今日家に帰りません。彼氏 boyfriend 今日 today 家 home 帰りません will not come back, will not return. So boyfriend will not come home today, will not come back home today. Okay, so we know it's also future action. So these are the cases when, it might sound as future tense, but it's still the present tense. Okay, now let's talk about particles. So I think you have noticed already that very often we use some particles here. Okay, so let's take a look at this sentence. Ocha, ocha, tea, nomimasu, drink. Okay, so if I want to say I will drink tea, I need to insert this particle or here, because particle or points out our object, okay? Points out our object and what action do we take on the object. So let's say we have tea. Do we drink it? Do we look at it? Do we buy it? We need to identify what action do we take on it. So in between the noun and the verb, we need particle o. Okay? Our next sentence is 映画, movie. 見ます watch. Okay? 映画 movie. So what will I do with the movie? I will watch it. So I need o in between the object and the verb. And our last one is 音楽, music. 聞きます, listen. So what will I do with music? I will listen to it. And again, we need particle o. Very good. Now, we also sometimes use particle de. When do we use particle de? Let's take a look. So we have ie, house. Hon, book. Hon o yomimasu, will read a book. So where will I read the book? I need to identify the location. Where am I located at? And what am I doing? So, okay, I know that I'm reading a book, but where am I reading a book? At home. So I need to write particle de here. So it would be ie de hon o yomimasu. Okay? Same goes with cafe, coffee shop. Where? Okay. Same goes for cafe or coffee shop. Cafe. コーヒーを飲みます. I will drink coffee. Where will I drink it? At the coffee shop. So I would write de here. And our last sentence is 図書館, library. 勉強します, study. So where will I study? At the library. Okay, yes, you can see that we will write particle de everywhere. Okay, and also particle ni is very, very important. Let's take a look. So we have Tokyo, the city, right? Ikimasu, will go. Where will I go? I will go to Tokyo. So now, there is a slight difference between the particle de that we have just discussed and particle ni. Do you remember it? So particle de, we use it when we are already in the location, we are there, and we're doing some action there, okay? Particle ni, we use it with motion verbs. So we are moving towards some location, but we are not there yet. So here we would need to write ni ikimasu. Tokyo ni ikimasu. Very good. Our second sentence is 大学 university. And again, ikimasu, to go. So where will I go? I will go to university. Ni. Our third sentence is uchi, home. Kaerimasen, kaerimasen, will not return, will not come back. So, where will I not come back? I will not come back home. Uchi ni kaerimasen. And our last two examples are with hours. So first one is 12 ji, 12 o'clock. Nemasu, will sleep. So at what time I will go to bed? At what time I will go to sleep? At 12 o'clock. So ni. And our last one is 1 ji, 1 o'clock. Aimasu, will meet. When will I meet? At 1 o'clock. So we would use ni everywhere. Very good. And also we have particle e. It's quite similar to particle ni when we're talking about movement towards somewhere. So, if you use sometimes e instead of ni, only when you are talking about movement, it will be okay. Or if you use ni instead of e when you talk about movement, okay? But when we talk about hours, we can only use ni. Okay, so let's look at these examples. So, 今日 today, 大学 university, 行きません will not go. Where will I not go today? To university. So I would write e. If you would write ni, it would also be correct. Our second sentence is uchi, home. 帰りません will not return. Where will I not return? I will not return home. 家へ帰りません could also be 家に帰りません. Perfect. Now about e, it is a bit more vague. So if I say I will not come back home or I will come back home, it's a bit more vague and ni is a bit more strong, okay? Okay, so let's talk about time references. So when we have day of the week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc., hour like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, or month, we will use ni. Ni, particle ni, is very important. Example sentence. 水曜日に会います. 水曜日に会います. 水曜日, Wednesday. 会います will meet. When will I meet? I will meet on Wednesday. We have particle ni. Our second example is 12月に帰ります. 12月に帰ります. 12月, December. 帰ります will return. So when will I return? When will I come back? In December. And our last example is 7時に帰ります. 7時に帰ります. 7時, 7 o'clock. So when will I return? At 7 o'clock. Particle ni is very important. Okay, and let's talk about the verb des. Des. It can be, is, are. Affirmative form of this verb is des in present tense. Des. Negative form in present tense can be じゃないです, じゃないです, or ではないです, ではないです. They are both the same. ではないです sounds a little bit more soft. That's the only difference. Example sentence of affirmative with des. 学生です, 学生です. I am a student. Or someone is a student because it's not said who. And negative would be 学生じゃないです, 学生じゃないです, or 学生ではないです, 学生ではないです. I'm not a student. ペンです, ペンです. It's a pen. ペンじゃないです, ペンじゃないです, or ペンではないです, ペンではないです. It's not a pen. お疲れ様です. You have worked so hard and you have finished one of the most important lessons of this course. You have learned the present tense of verbs and how to conjugate them in the present tense. It's very important. So, おめでとうございます. Congratulations, and I'll see you in our next lesson. またね.